We OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo. Yeah. Experts on reload. Yeah, yeah. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Runes is coming. Everybody on a knot. Ayy. It's a nuisance. Ordinal Revolution. Ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Merlin. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution. Ayy, Bitcoin is the one, no substitution. Ayy, with Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystems. What is up, guys? It's a Monday. It's a manic Monday, and everything's going down. It's all going to zero. It's all over. It's time to pack it in, guys. Bitcoin and crypto is not going to be a thing. I'm sorry, and I'm going to end the show on that. So see you guys. No, I'm just playing. We have a great show for you guys today. We're live for another Ordinal Hour. We're going to get into a lot of good topics, a lot of good stuff happening. You know, it's time to really start digging in the projects that you think are really going to blow up in the next coming months, right? Because we all know the bull market's here. We all know what's going to happen in the next 12 to 15 months. It's going to be insane. It's going to be fun. It's going to get to the point though where you're waking up in the middle of the night checking your phone at prices because stuff's run up so much, and you're like, do I need to sell? So enjoy this time period as well, where it's a very quiet and very chill. Enjoy the summer and enjoy the time with your family, and let's kill it this year, right? So we got this. So without further ado, I'm bringing my partner, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's going on?
Not much, man. Had a little bit of the case of the Mondays when I first woke up, not feeling too great, but then I said, you know what? I'm turning this energy around. I'm not going to let this bum me out. And I was like, let's get it. And I'm ready, man. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Let's do it. We'll jump into some stuff here first. This is huge for us because you know, like I think Gandhi said it. You know, it's like first they ignore you, and then you know, it ends up with, if it's first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, and then they fight you, and then you win. This is something we're winning. Crypto has beat the SEC. The head of the crypto asset enforcement division resigns, and I think Gary's going to be the one next. With Biden attending this June meeting, or July meeting in the crypto roundtable. I mean, Gary's gone. They realized that they messed up, and they're going to put the blame on Gary, so it doesn't look bad for them.
Yeah. I mean, that is exactly what I think is going to happen. They're probably also going to maybe, ignore Elizabeth Warren a bit more and just maybe have her tone it down a bit. Yeah. Who knows, right? I'd love to be a fly on that wall, but the fact that information got out, and I think it was Bitcoin Magazine that I saw first, talk about that storyline about Biden joining a crypto roundtable in July. So, to me, this seems to be like a very strategic move for them to see how they can raise more funds and just benefit from the space.
The best part of that was it was a leaked email, right? So, Eric Snowden is wanted by the United States for leaked emails, but this leaked email comes out out of nowhere, right? It's just funny how that happens when the White House purposely leaks them to when someone else gets them themselves. So I thought that was funny, but.
Yeah, I definitely think they're trying to change the sentiment of our space on Biden and that administration. Maybe I think personally it's too little, too late. But at the end of the day, anything that helps our industry and space is a positive to me.
Yeah, and it's just so funny. Like we've been here, over 4 years now, and it's just one of those things where we seen Operation Choke Point. We seen what they did to us in the bear market. They choked off banks. Like people were getting their bank accounts still to this day, getting
Yeah,
their bank
still
accounts
happening.
frozen because of a Coinbase transaction, right? So it's just crazy that they're like, oh no, that wasn't us. It's just so funny. They're so old and ridiculous. But speaking of Elizabeth Warren, I know John Deaton is running for her spot. So John Deaton is a crypto lawyer. He's been doing great stuff with the XRP community and stuff like that. So shout out to John Deaton. I hope he destroys Elizabeth Warren in that next election. But
Yeah,
moving along
likewise.
here. Australia's largest stock exchange, ASX, has approved its first Bitcoin ETF. Another one. Now it's Australia. Last week it was China. The week before that, it was just so on and so on. There's so many different countries now. Bitcoin ETFs are going to be here for the long run now. I mean, they're not stopping. They're just continuously coming.
Yeah, and this is bullish because Australia doesn't align with countries like China, Russia. Obviously, they're part of the G7, right? And so the fact that you have people in that group, and then also people in kind of that are their adversaries, right? Also kind of going towards the same thing. To me, that's really bullish, right? So Bitcoin and crypto seems to be here to stay. And when you see like a G7 country like this, I believe they are. I could be wrong about that, but I think they're in the G7. Do something like this. It's a big win because they were the ones that really want to push the CBDC very, very hard, right? And not really even have much crypto companies and stuff like that. But it looks like everybody one by one starting to change their tone. I don't know if this is like bull market mania kind of doing this because it could be strategic, and then they go back to being not really great to the crypto space. But we'll have to see how time plays out with it.
Yeah, I think this is just about not being left behind, right? You don't want to be the last country to come waddling in and be like, oh yeah, we support Bitcoin, right? You kind of want to be on the forefront. You want to show your country that hey, we are about innovation. We're not trying to put our throat on innovation like they do behind closed doors, with all these new taxes and requirements and licenses and stuff. With that, it really put a stronghold on innovation. So this is a way for them to come out, the party leaders, to kind of get reelected again. Like, oh, we approved the first Bitcoin ETF, and I know Biden's going to say that eventually. Under my administration, we approved the first Bitcoin ETF. Like, yeah, but it took you guys were crying and screaming the entire time, So it's just one of those things where it's clout for them.
Yeah, I agree. It's a smart move though, for them to at least try to like scoop in the last minute and get those political points. They're realizing that it's going to be weighted a lot more than they initially thought, right? So
yep, I agree. All right, moving on here. One of our favorite analysts, Bob Lucas, had a tweet this morning, and anytime Bob tweets, we listen. He said, day 45 of the cycle for Bitcoin, and he means 45 days since the halving, clearly in the declining phase of the daily cycle. I don't expect too much bullish action until July. So he posted this a while back, and this chart basically, it was, we hit a bottom and then we bounce, or we kind of just mangle here and think, did he push this a little bit? Is this pushed? And the dates are a little off here, but is this the new target now?
Maybe he updated it, right?
Yeah, I think he updated it.
Yeah, because I believe the blue line definitely peaked a little bit earlier than what I'm seeing there.
So it looks like he gave two more things of what's going to happen here. I think this might be the original one. I mean, remember how there was two? This might have been the second of the two, and it looks like it. And this might be the newer one, the next option that could happen. So if this is the case, this is looking like a normal cycle, October boom, and this looks like a July boom. So I'm really hoping for the July, but no, you know what, dude? I can't imagine it going to October, being all this bullish sentiment with ETFs and all this stuff, and we have to wait till October before we pass the all-time high again, that would be ridiculous. Sideways to October, oh, jump out of a window.
Yeah, but October would be so amazing though, right? You and I were messing around before getting ready for the show, and I did some calculations based on 2016's year, and from the halving date in 2016, which was May, I believe. No, that was last year. It was July 9th. From that date all the way till December 31st, there was 31st of 2016, there was a 32% increase in the Bitcoin's price. If we did match that 32%, that would put us right at 89 grand, almost $90,000 on December 1st, obviously, or 31st. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly like that, but it was pretty cool to kind of do, because some people are saying this cycle is more similar to the 2016, 2017 cycle, which I could see why they're saying that, right? Less manipulation, at least so far. ETF is the only thing that really changes it, and it makes me more bullish this cycle than 2016 and 2017. But if we do have a similar like trajectory, then it would be the later fall, heading into the winter, to where we would see the blast offs. But I'm with you, man. I want to see it sooner, right? I think everybody does. I think 145 people watching here wants to see it sooner happen in July. And I'm curious to see that, did Bob lower his target though? Because he did say when we hit 56K, he said it will not go below 56K again if we get past 65,000, which we did. And so we shouldn't see a 56 or 57,000 target on this chart at all.
Well, you see right here, this is 56K right here, right?
Yeah.
So if that's 56K, we're not hitting below it. So he's still
sticking to that.
Yeah, so he's still sticking to that. He just has this as the bottom. He has what is that? He has 60,700 as the bottom. He said we're gonna hit it. Either it happens here or it happens here, but he said he'll be accumulating during those phases. So he no longer has 56. 56 is the low of the range. He does have 60K. He says we need to hit 60K before we bounce, and that makes sense because whales don't buy tops, right? They buy bottoms of local tops. You know what I mean? So our local top was 70,000, 71 maybe. I think we hit, and then our local bottom, he thinks it needs to be 60K.
Yeah. That makes a ton of sense to me. That's something that I've been seeing too in the charts, that like we could definitely hit that 60K maybe this week, heading into the last week of June, or possibly last week of June. And then in July, we will see what happens. We either do that blue line. Oh, I think July, regardless, I think in his projection there, July is actually pretty bullish. And it's pretty bullish, kind of like a catch back up. But the red line is definitely more geared towards like a traditional cycle, 2016, 2017, to where you go back up in July and then you go back down again. And then the late fall, early winter is whenever everybody's like, it's Christmas time. And so it's definitely interesting, right? We're going to see very soon if that blue line gets eliminated here in the next, I would say, month, right? We'll pretty much get a good feeling of it. But I think the rest of June, we got to, just be okay with not great price action, in my opinion, right? With Bitcoin. So
I agree. And it's kind of like I said, like this is the best time. Like, when we were sitting in a bear market in like last September, right? When we were sitting there, it felt like this. It really did. It felt boring. It felt down only.
I mean, it was worse than this, but you're right.
Well,
it was boring.
It was very boring, but like we didn't have the hope that we have now. I think that's the only difference. We didn't have the hope of being 45 days past halving, and just knowing we didn't know what was going to happen. We were still a year potentially from any type of explosion. We would have grinded all the way through that if the Bitcoin ecosystem didn't blow up like it did. And congratulations if you were part of that, because you're sitting pretty happy right now, and you gotta wait for this. Otherwise, we'd be really up against it if we never got that. So
I think we both definitely had like this idea of, we knew what was going to happen, but we felt like we were so far away from bullishness that like we were just doing our everyday things, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where we are. But one thing I will say is that going through that, like each and every day, we were putting out, I think maybe 2 to 3 videos, our weekly update, weekend update, and probably an interview if you were to do on average per week. That's what it looked like, right? But that also didn't include like us constantly talking to other groups, doing spaces on Saturday and stuff like that. And I felt like even then we were in it. We touched on the space every single day.
Yeah.
And that showed me that even during like slow times, because right now people are happy we went through Bitcoin getting to 74K. That was a big deal, but like we're not in the bull market really, like not in the craziness part, right?
Yeah.
Imagine being in it every single day in that part of the market. I feel like if you're doing that and you're doing your due diligence and touching on the space every single day, it's gonna be hard for you to lose. And that's not financial advice. That's more of like life advice towards anything, right? And so just being ready, being prepped, and that's why we got 173 people in here now. So guys, make sure if you're watching on YouTube, smash that like. Also subscribe if you're not subscribed, and on Twitter, please share this space. We want to educate as many people as possible.
Yeah, and if you guys wouldn't mind, we have a TikTok now. If you we're trying to get to 2,000 so we can start streaming over there. If you wouldn't mind going to our TikTok and just subbing there, we're getting close to the 1,000 number. We're a couple hundred away, so please check that out. It's just Order Revolution on TikTok. You can't miss it, but we really appreciate that. All right, moving along here. This is something that made me sick to my stomach a little bit. Ripple CEO discloses 10 CBDC partnerships. I've always said it. Ripple is not for the people. The XRP army is just, they're all misguided, misled. If you hold XRP, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing crypto a disservice by holding it. Dump this thing to zero. This is Brad Garlinghouse and these guys are just rich off the holders, and that's the only reason they're rich. They're just dumping these tokens every day. This token is just a way to get CBDCs. It looks like just to get them in the banking system. Brad Garlinghouse and this entire team just make me disgusting. I hate them. But that's my opinion.
You've always felt that way, and of course, guys, it's not financial advice or anything like that, but it's just kind of the sentiment, right? It's like whenever you have a passion about a way you feel, you're gonna express that strongly, right? And Shizzy is definitely one of those people that does that. And I think really it's been set up as this kind of like portrait that's been painted since whenever everybody was saying XRP could go to like $10,000 a token and all that crazy stuff, right? Because of how they could, they're gonna do cross-border payments, they're gonna replace the SWIFT, all this stuff, right? And it was just honestly, it was like a perfect setup for Ripple and to really just keep painting that picture, because it made logical sense kind of a little bit at the time, oh, this is the future, it's replacing the payment system, blah 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 blah. But I think as time's gone on, like they've lost more and more, faithful holders and community members. But again, at the end of the day, if you've been here for a while and you've understood what is, consistent, what's the strongest, and it's Bitcoin. And so you would navigate back to Bitcoin, which is amazing that we did that, right? Because we just were like, it took a little bit of time to figure out, okay, this is something that could be an amazing opportunity, but also you're going back to Bitcoin, right? The fundamentals, the security, the just the start of it all. And when you do that, then you're anchored pretty well, in my opinion.
It's funny you say that because we were actually just talking over the weekend. I think it must have been yesterday, but we were watching like old videos from like last June and July, and we didn't know anything. Like we we obviously knew our DeFi stuff. We knew but you really had not a lot of knowledge of the crypto.com ecosystem. I had a lot of knowledge in Phantom, and then both had really good knowledge on Ethereum and all the DeFi stuff. But with Bitcoin, we thought it was just a pet rock, and when we first came over here, we had to relearn basically what we should have learned in the beginning. Like I knew everything about Bitcoin's history, but when you come to UTXOs and mempool and stuff like that, and all that stuff was just brand new to us, and we really took our time to really dig into it, and now we feel like experts on it. So that's one thing I highly recommend to anyone. If you don't know anything about something, dig into it every single day, and you'll eventually get it. So
yeah, and it's funny because both of us were introduced to crypto via Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
For me, it was a long time ago and through a friend. But I always thought, what's Bitcoin's too. At the time, it was like close to $1,000, $800. Just went up in 2013, and I was like, okay, I missed that. What's next? Like what can I find? And it was just more of an opportunistic mentality. But had I broken down the fundamentals of Bitcoin, I think that would have done me a much better service at that time. But I'm just, hey, it's never too late in my opinion, right? Because I would never trade in the last year of my experience of how much I've learned over here and how Bitcoin works, and also it's changed my perception a little bit. Of course, I want to be able to do degen stuff and still be able to trade and stuff, but I do look at layer one differently a little bit now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you get that respect kind of
Yeah.
built up for Bitcoin and how it operates and stuff.
It's really like layer 1 Bitcoin is just beautiful, right? It's slow, but it's just one of those things where it's just like it's so perfectly designed, especially in 2010 when a lot of the technology was brand new and just insane, right? So it's I don't know. I love layer 1 Bitcoin, and like when we're talking about the opcode and stuff and adding them, like obviously being an ordinal,
Enjoyer.
Enjoyer, you're an enjoyer. I want that, right? But at the same time, I want to keep Bitcoin pure, keep Bitcoin exactly how it is. But I'm okay with other things. But guys, if you're interested in learning more about Bitcoin, this is how I read this. I got into Bitcoin August 8th, 2020. I read this book like August 9th, 2020. This book really taught me all about how Finney and all that stuff. So I definitely recommend that book. So.
Yeah,
but moving on to the price action thing we all actually care about, right? So Bitcoin price actions.
Well, I don't know about right now because it's been a little bit nasty, right?
Yeah.
You can see here I have the Bitcoin hour chart. So this is something that's good to use in my opinion that can kind of forecast the next 4 to 6 hours. You can see here Bitcoin is been in oversold since 4 p.m. yesterday. Wow. That's it's been over here. It's been stuck over here for a while. But it looks like it's getting closer to, possibly pull back up here, right? So it's been down only. This looks nasty, right? This is a bunch of down only consecutive red candles there. But like I said, once you find an opportunity, if you're a trader, it's probably been horrible because you've been so used to the past 6 months of Bitcoin really being pretty consistent. I would say for the most part, there was a couple periods where it dipped, but really consistency has been like up if you look at the chart. But now it's been down really as of late, right? So, anyways, I expect to see a little bit of a bounce back. Right now it's 65,300. Right. So possibly here in the next couple hours, we, bounce back closer to 66,000. Could be wrong about that. Could hang out here as long as Bitcoin wants to. Right. You are seeing some weakness show here on the MACD with the MACD candles lightening up here. But until this, the blue and red lines start to get as close as possible to really touch, I don't think we see a reversal. And if you look at the daily chart, you can see the daily's been nasty, right? Ever since the 6th of June, it's just been down only a couple green candles in there but really the MACD is also still showing sell strength. We've been in the oversold since the 12th. We're still here. Hasn't been lightening up on the daily, so I don't expect any type of reversal in terms of the daily. Like I don't expect us to get back to like 68,000 or anything like that today or tomorrow. But we'll see. Maybe tomorrow it lightens up a little bit. So for me, I feel like, hey, I'm okay. Bitcoin's probably not going to do anything amazingly great in the next week. This week, but if it does, I'm all for like a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I agree. And when crypto came out today, he's really good at knowing when reversal. Like he bought the bottom. I remember that. So I don't know. He still has his trade on from that $17,000 bottom, $16,000 bottom. So he's one of the people who's been pretty accurate. And then so he'll go away for like 3 weeks and won't post a video. But that entire 3 weeks will be boring and down only. He came out today and he posted that Bitcoin reversal candle coming. So I'm hoping that he's right. We will see. But if he's not right, I was thinking we kind of change the name of the show. I think we should become Toast Revolution. We talk about toast the entire show. What is your favorite toast? What number?
Definitely none of the top 1 through 11. I probably prefer like 15 would probably be perfect in my opinion, with a little bit of just a little light teensy weensy bit of brown. But I'd probably eat 12 and 16 as well, maybe 11. Everything else is trash.
I think 10 and 11 are okay. I wouldn't mind. 9 is pushing it, but I think 7, 8, and 11 they're probably my favorites, honestly.
7, 8, and 11. Yeah, 7, 8 is okay. 10's got that burnt ear.
I know.
You like, what are you gonna do? You gonna put some butter on that, extra butter on that ear?
Burnt toast is good once you get sog it up a little bit, like get some like extra butter on there or something. So I don't know. But with chat, I want to know Toast Revolution. I want to know your I'm sorry guys. I'll go back to your normal show now. But we'll do the roll call now. Let's see who's still here.
Let's
After
do it.
Toast
Let's
Revolution.
get it.
So all right, guys. If you guys don't know, every day we do a roll call, and it looks like our man and turned it into my best friend here, Yazir. He's killing it. He's one of our mods. We appreciate everything you do for us, man. Thank you so much for all your help, and I just want to make sure that you know that we really, really respect you, and we think you're pretty amazing for the stuff you do. I mean, every day, dude. Look at this. You're
Yeah,
just killing
definitely
it, bro.
helping us out a ton. That's for sure.
All right. We got Dan H in the building. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Patty Pooh, the Bitcoin machine himself, he is here. Coach Cats, Cache Cats in the building. Cash Cats. I walk alone. He says, GM, let's smash that like button and share. Let's get these guys at 20K subs. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Followed by I walk alone. Oh, I said him already. And then we have Dream Baked. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome. I haven't seen you.
I don't think I've seen you before. Yeah. Tim Madden is here. Shout out Tim Madden. Joko is here. Let's go. Eat Satoshi's in the building. Ant-Man is here. Bitmap Gallery. Sixes. Mighty Sonu. Cheaty is here. Shout out our guy Cheaty, man. Killing it in that blue suit, man. Akala is here. Super fan. Welcome back to the show, my friend. Crypto Hot News is here. Tim Bake, AOD Art, my man Fire, another one of our mods. We appreciate you, my friend. Bitmap News is here. So Bitmap News, I've been tuning into their spaces. Mr. Sheedy, a community member of ours, is a big member of that. He's always in there. Nice. And they're guys, they go around these metaverses and stuff. Like the whole it was like they had like 10, 15 people with them. I think they were in it was Bitmap something. I forget what it was. But they were just they were walking around in there and like kind of giving their experiences. It's really amazing Twitter spaces. Shout out those guys. Ethereum blockchain is here. Welcome back to the show, my friend. Adopted by Bitcoin is here. Let's see. Abdul United is here. Let's see. Kal-El, Superman himself is here. Disclosure Crypto. Welcome back to the show, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Itatoshi Pelpa is here. Carlos CLS. One of my favorites here. No is in the building.
No.
Crypto Cats is here. Followed by James Rippin is here.
Rippin.
John is here. Shout out John. Welcome back to the show, my friend. John, are you putting your stuff in the squirrel? What is it? Validator?
Squirrel loop.
Yeah,
for the track validators.
Dude, John has like 39,000 track, man. He's killing it.
Does he? Oh wow.
Yes, we're talking on Twitter. He's a whale. Big whale over there. So
doxed. No, I'm just kidding. Thank all you guys for showing up this Monday. 245 people to start our show off. We appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we just recognize each and every one of y'all during roll call because number one, you guys deserve it to be called out that you guys are showing up consistently every day, no matter what Bitcoin's price is, no matter how the Runes ecosystem's market cap is, or BRC20s, whatever side of the coin you are on that, or if you're on both sides like myself, which I think most people should be. But anyways, you guys are showing up, man. So we just want to give you guys a shout out to start this week off.
100%. Jumping into our first rune stuff here. Cook the Mempool becomes the most minted rune of all time. What do you think about Cook the Mempool? They have over 4,309,000 mints, a little above uncommon by a full million. So 900,000. So what do you think about Cook the Mempool?
We've talked about it before and how it can take on this SAT type of role, right, in the Runes ecosystem. Sats, rats, whatever it's in between both of those. Rats, minute out, I think a little bit quicker, but maybe not. I think rats actually deployed a long time before it minute out, but no one paid attention to it. Anyways, what's the holder count?
Holder count 28,213.
Yeah, so 28,000, pretty big, but not the largest, right? There's larger runes out there. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because a lot of people speculated on this and saying, hey, this is something that can have a market cap that over time could really grow and have strong position within the Runes ecosystem. I think it's going to be interesting to see, because this is not this, the Runes ecosystem is not the same as BRC20s or TAP, because the way the mints are, right? There's a lot more pre-mining over here. Not all of them. Obviously, there's a lot of, what was it called? A free and fair mints also. But I want to see if something like this approach can have the similar effect that it did on BRC20. Because if it does, then congrats to the Cook the mempool holders, because they're going to benefit from that.
100%. I agree. And so the one thing that I find really awesome about this is there's one wallet, yes, yields 2.45%, but then every other wallet besides that is like 0.8, 0.7, 0.5. So it's really good that way.
Yeah, and market cap right currently is 6.9 million. Not crazy, but also low enough to really look kind of delicious, right? For someone to, no pun intended there with Cook the mempool, but like it 7 million, right? Like, I mean, there's a lot of upside to it. If something like this could easily get to 70, so that's a 10x, right? So people from the outside could probably be looking at this. Now the chart looks atrocious. If I show the chart right here,
that's a minting chart right there. That's normal for minting.
Is it? Oh, so there's no. This is not, has nothing to do with secondary.
Well, that's secondary, but like when something's minting, I don't care.
Oh, you're saying right when it's released,
only.
Right whenever it starts to get sells is what you're saying.
Because that's what happens up here. The circulating supply is really low, and as you keep dropping, the circulating supply is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So of course the price is going to go down. So I'm curious to see what it does from here. I think it has hit the bottom here, so I think this is one of the safest buys in my opinion. But that's just my thing. I haven't bought any yet, so but I'm thinking about getting in this, because it could be the Sats, right? It could be. Well, one thing it doesn't have with Sats, doesn't have Unisat behind it, so it's one of those things where I don't know. This could be, but I feel like this is the bottom.
Yeah, I think so very quickly it's going to have to take on a meme like community that really does some great things like Rats did, right? That's what happened with Rats. That's the reason why Rats blew up, was because a lot of the Chinese community went in on Rats, because you're the rat was supposedly good luck, all this stuff, right? So if Cook the mempool can really start to form a strong community, maybe East and West together, I don't know how that could look, but Rats was a lot of East with some good amount of West as well into Rats, and Rats really took off, and a lot of people made lots of money on Rats. You're talking about like high 5 figures, low 6 figures. Cook the mempool could pull something like that, but like I said, they're gonna have to need community building, strong Twitter presence, that type of approach for this to be successful. Otherwise, they'll probably just hang out in low $1 million market cap, like low 10 and below. Which is still not bad if you minted it, but depending on how much you spent on your mints. So upside is there, though. I'll say that.
Yep. A meme is a meme. Yeah, this is a meme, but like you can't cook the mempool anymore if you mint it out, right? So just curious what this does next. But I mean, who knows? We'll keep watching that for sure. This is big. So at 2 p.m. today, UTC, which was about 33 minutes ago, the ecosystem validator pool will reopen for 72 hours. So you have until about Wednesday. This will be the final opportunity to hit the 888 track milestone. So they are close. Thanks to the guys at Karma, which we're going to get into. I think I have it here.
I want to give them a shout out, man. Like Karma stepped up, and Jason Fang and them, I know sometimes we're hard on certain groups and people and stuff, but you got to give them props when props are due, right? And I feel like this was one of those moments.
Yep. So this is from Tap. He says, we are happy to announce the Karma Council has contributed another 350,000 track into the ecosystem validator pool, taking their contributions to 500K track. So if you look here, there's about 763,000 track in here. About what's that, about 60% is from Karma. So it's basically pretty big for them. Karma did take in a lot of track when they were given their Karma token. The Karma token went to 0, right? It went to 0, but Karma token did go to 0 because it is a rune now or something. And I think that whole 2 months for Karma, if they could just take back any time, they were very impatient. They had to should just waited for tap, but the whole runes jump and the karma stone and all that, if that didn't happen, they would still be held in high regard. And I think they can get back to that by doing things like this.
Yeah, possibly, especially if eventually Benny and his team develops a bridge to be able to bridge in and out runes and stuff like that, and the ecosystem is, interoperable and stuff. This whole situation of trying to get as much track in here is making me feel, because I was a little bit worried, if I'm being honest, that and I never thought it was Benny or like, even, I'm not gonna put anything on any entity or a group of people, but I just was worried that like track would be forgotten because tap's coming out. It's the tap ecosystem, all this stuff, right? But I really do feel like Benny was probably one of the people in this whole team or group that's part of this initiative that said, track needs to remain the top, like the big dog, right? Because it's what their brand is based off of, right? It makes sense too whenever you think about track, then the definition of track, and then if they're going to be this chain link of these inscription ecosystems and stuff, it would not be a good situation if track got forgotten, right, and put in the back. And I think that this right here is helping a lot, because you're getting rid of, essentially, if they can reach the 1 million track goal, now you're getting rid of 1 million track. Not, you're doing it for validators, right? So it's not like they're just being thrown away, but that doesn't get recirculated into it. So now you're dealing with 20 million, and that's before the other entity validators, right? So that also will get cut down, in my opinion. I hope they get to 1 million, and that would be amazing if they do. Obviously, 888,000 is their initial goal.
Yeah, and one thing about track is different than a lot of other tokens. There's no dilution. There will never be 22 million track. There will never be 21 million and one track. There's 21 million track, and that's it. So for 1 million to get locked up, you're technically, going the other way. They're going away forever. So that is huge. I think if 1 million track get locked up here, and then the validators come out, there's the Benny and those guys they're coming out and they're saying that there's exchanges, there's Google looking to run these validators, and the rounds are gonna get bought up really quickly. I think with all the rounds, another 1 million. So then there's 19 million track in circulation, and there's some track that hasn't moved like since it was minted. So it's some of it's sitting there. So I'm curious on what happens here. I think personally, if everything goes great, Bitcoin hits 700K, everything goes amazing the way I think it is, track could be, $30, $40, $50 per track. So if not higher. So track's one of those things where I think it could really fly in a full-on bull market, especially with no dilution. And then tap could lead that way. So I'm very bullish on track. I'm very bullish on Benny and stuff. But I'm ready to see something. I'm ready for stuff to start to happen. It's been it isn't the best market though, so I can see why they haven't came out with anything. But I want to see a video on how things work or just something, But
yeah, I mean, timing the market for builders is really important, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have something amazing and there's just not, the liquidity isn't there, that's going to be poured into the space. It almost kind of takes the air out of the project a little bit, right? It's like, this amazing, innovation of an ecosystem, but no one's really, using it because it's not that time of the market, right? But I agree with you. I think that's just kind of the curiosity in us, that we want to see, because we're excited, because we have been in this innovative space for over a year now, right? And so for us, it's just like, man, I don't think people, even you guys that are watching, 291 people, by the way, thanks guys for sharing the space and everything. But I don't think you guys realize like what we have been a part of, like cumulatively, like you guys, us, everybody here that's been here for the past year, because you don't really, your perspective is skewed because we're in it every day, right? And so like once like Shizzy said, Bitcoin is at, I don't know, his 700,000 to me is like 350,000. So we have different targets, but
you're not bullish enough, Yagobi.
350,000, 400,000 Bitcoin, next year we're gonna look back and be like, hey, I freaking inscribed tap tokens back in blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
and some of those tap tokens could be worth like huge amounts. Or I inscribed a Sats. I was a part of that. You will be able to say that to like people that are coming into the space. Will be like, no way. And you remember that from last cycle, right? When people were like, man, I bought a Bored Ape the first week whenever it came out or whatever, right? So I think that there's still a lot of like excitement ahead of us, guys. I could be wrong, but I just from my past experience, and it makes me smile right now because I think that everybody that's paying attention is going to benefit from that.
I think you're going to be right. I do. I think so. But moving on here. Last statements on track here. Do they hit this milestone? Do you think they hit it of 888,000?
I do. I think that they're really focused. They're strapped in. Once we got a little bit more access to kind of like the builders group, I could see that they definitely are strapped in. They're focused. They're focused not only on a builder's perspective, but like a marketing rollout perspective, as well as the house items, cleaning up, making sure everything is. And this is one of those things that's like that, but it's also a big deal. Hitting these milestones is big for the entire ecosystem. So I do think that they hit it. And I think that we're going to be surprised with some of the partnerships that come out with just how much attention the tap ecosystem gets.
100%. I agree. I think so too. I think this gets to 800. I think it gets to 900,000. Do I think it hits 1 million? Hopeful it gets to 1 million, but I'm doubtful. But I definitely think we get over 900,000.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll head over to the Merlin side of things, the layer 2s. So Merlin just came out with a huge article today. If you are a builder and you're not building on Merlin, you might be making a mistake because 210 Merl grant program for builders. This is huge. So if you are building on Merlin, man, definitely there's an application here. And go in and fill it out. Try and get some of this 210 million. It's $100 million, right? It's like $90 million.
I mean, that's a lot of Merl. 210 million Merl, by the way, for the grant program. So obviously that's going to be split up amongst the builders that qualify. But I will tell you this, that if you have been in the space and how you present it to the Merlin team and whoever's in charge of the grant proposal, I don't think that this is. I'm not saying that's not. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's probably not as hard as a lot of people think, because we've worked with some of our partners through something of like through this. Basically the steps, right? So this is big. We've talked about like Western builders starting to build on Merlin. I think we're going to see much more, especially with this. Right now, there's 3 off the top of my head I can think of: Bitmap 420, Ordinal Hive, and then VDEX, which Ordinal Hive and VDEX are really, really, really close if they haven't launched yet. But so opportunity, guys. And I think that a lot of the Merlin sidechain and other layer 1 ecosystems are a lot more friendly than it possibly were before, right? So I feel like this is just something to kind of expand, these layer 1 assets, make them more flexible. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see who qualifies for this, because I expect to see some Western builders on the list of partnerships coming up. It's all been Eastern before, but now I feel like there's going to be more Western builders.
Yeah, and we're hoping Ordinal Hive and Prothean Minds are one of the people, the beneficiaries of this money. So that would be absolutely amazing for them to kind of really get that head start and really continue building, bring on another dev, or really start pushing out what they're looking for. So I'm very excited for this for our partners. And guys, if you know someone who's building and wants to build on Merlin, please have them reach out to us. So we have really deep connections there. We've been friends with Jeff since last August, so our friendship is deep there. So we could definitely help you out, at least getting started. So you can join our partnership program or whatever you're interested in. So if you do know someone who is interested in building on Merlin, have them reach out to us, and we could probably get them in the rooms that they need to be in. But to this, man, I'm just gonna read it real quick. It says, after a year in the Bitcoin ecosystem, we've achieved milestones, including the largest TVL, most developers, strongest community among Bitcoin L2s. Today, we are excited to launch Merlin's Adventure, our ecosystem grant program. Merlin's Adventure is tailored to builders dedicated to advancing the adoption of Merlin Layer 2. With 210 Merlin available, our goal is to foster user-centric and Bitcoin-native applications that propel the growth of Bitcoin Layer 2 ecosystem. Apply here for the grant, and then it gives you where to apply at. So make sure you are on the official Merlin Layer 2, not on some other scam. But make sure it's this before you click on any buttons. But this is it right here. This is the full breakdown of everything you guys need to know.
Yeah, and these grants can help you increase your TVL, right? Like especially or increase it in a strategic way to where you give rewards in Merle token, right? Shizzy and I are both. I believe he thinks the same way, that the Merle token is going to be a successful Bitcoin Layer 2 sidechain token for this cycle. It has all the basically setups for to have ordinal builders build on Merlin as well. So we'll see the future of I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the future of Merlin, and I'm excited about the builders coming from the Ordinal ecosystem and Bitcoin's ecosystem from the Western side of the world.
100%. I'm looking forward to seeing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing amazing innovation happening. I think
you're looking forward to seeing some feet pics.
Oh, dude, I would love to see some feet pics.
Oh my god!
I'm
Creep
good,
alert! Creep alert!
I'm good, bro. But but to the wow, I
had to throw the curveball on a Monday.
So, but I'm looking forward to seeing innovation. Like a lot of these chains and stuff have just been building chains, right? There's millions and millions of chains happening. There's no dApps on any of these chains. So I'm looking forward to seeing some dApps. I'm looking forward to seeing some innovation, and I'm hoping it's coming from Merlin. I'm hoping it's coming from the Bitcoin Layer 1 ecosystem that translates into Merlin. So that would be amazing. So let's get to it, guys. Get the builders building.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, here's something. Are runes becoming a cabal versus cabal ecosystem? Some think so. What does this mean to you?
Well, okay, so I was just going through my feed, and I want to give a shout out to this guy. I'm gonna share my screen here. Shin. I've seen him in the Ordinal show and speak and stuff like that. But he had a really good point here. He said runes have a major market manipulation problem. It's not PvP anymore. It's cabal versus cabal, manipulating their own market caps and intentionally bricking each other's. So bricking is whenever you put a huge amount of tokens, which is going to cost possibly tens of thousands of dollars, making that floor not be able to go up in price. And it says each other's market caps to have a chance to flip and create we flip this runes narrative. Research how much naturally traded runes, Wenko, Mr. Yen, Billy, Psycho, needed in volume holder count to reach a certain market cap. Groups have formed and are using their manipulation formulas to make you FOMO. The solution is simple. We need more participants. More participants, more centralized exchanges equals less effective manipulation effect. Currently, it's a circle jerk in a village of traders. Okay, so I don't think this is a new point, but he definitely, put a little bit of a twist of perspective on it with the cabal versus the cabal, because we've always thought like PvPs happens in every fungible token environment on Bitcoin, because eventually we need to onboard more people. But the cabal versus cabal narrative is definitely interesting, because I can see that happening. That you got I'm not saying, and these are just examples. I'm not saying any of these groups of people or collections are doing any of this, but you got OMB group, you got the Node Monks group, you got the Puppets group, you got a bunch of groups of people that are like strong with their community, right? And they all have like their little alpha groups and chats, right? So if they're trying to run a token up, it could happen. This all becomes solved whenever the bull market's here, though, because there's enough liquidity, more users, all that stuff, right? What Shin is saying, I believe is and we saw it with Ordi, and Sats a bit. Once they get added to like a large centralized exchange, and we talked to some other people that said once it's like on Binance and it's been there for a while, it kind of takes on its own, like nobody really can mess with the price action with it other than the demand of the market, right? And we saw that with Ordi. We literally saw it with Ordi, because Ordi went to $68, but you and I check the market caps pretty much every day, or the volume every day. And Ordi was not trading high volume on OKX or Unisat. So where does that come from? Centralized exchanges, and then the centralized exchange has to buy more or something, right? So it's pumping the price up. So I think that's his point, is like, dog needs to get to Binance, then, that will take care of itself. And the more that get to those tier one exchanges, the less that we'll see this ability to brick. And I absolutely hate whenever people brick tokens, because we've seen it and it sucks, because you're like, and then people ask like, why would someone try to sell, I don't know, like this many tokens in the way we do it, with just like a swap meet, basically listing and waiting for a buyer, and you end up bricking that floor price, and it sucks, but it is what it is. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think this is just a temporary thing that we've gone through before and we'll get through it once dog gets listed to the centralized exchange, or do you think we're gonna have to deal with this forever on layer one until opcodes come, or some sort of innovation like a centralized swap or something?
Yeah, I think this is part of growing pains. I think this is something that all small ecosystems had to deal with. I think that this is something that like the Ethereum ecosystem had to deal with in the early days of DeFi. It's just like mine's the best, and you dealt with something like that with Meerkat Finance, and the other one. It was kind of like you kind of have to pick sides, and you're all just kind of fighting over the same
Tribalism.
thing. Tribalism, exactly. And I think that happens with growing pains. And I think once we get big enough and more people, because right now we probably have about, I don't know, I think this time last year we had about 100,000 wallets. I think now we have about like 800,000 wallets. So we're still pretty small to the masses, right? So I think we have to get into the millions of Bitcoin wallets and active users, because there's a difference between wallets and active users. But once we get to a point where we're just so massive, I think those kind of die down. I think those cult type of environments kind of don't have much power anymore. And I think they have a lot of power right now. Like you said, the OMB guys, they can say one thing and then it can either dump or pump, right? So it's really just coming from one voice. But I think that once we get more people in here, that kind of pushes things away. And one way of getting more people in here is centralized exchanges. Once we are on the Coinbase, which I think dog gets listed on Coinbase, I really do. I think once we're on Binance, I think once we're on the other ones, I truly believe that it's going to be a different environment that we're in. It's going to be, and that's the thing too, is right now we're in this red moment, right? Where, rooms was supposed to be this big thing, but then the markets just wasn't right for it. So we were kind of pushed down, Bitcoin going sideways for 100 and something days now. I just think that it's just not the environment to go up. So people are just getting more and more stuck in their cult type of environment. So
yeah, 100%. The worse the conditions are, the more cultish people get.
Yes,
and it makes
exactly.
sense. I mean, with the human psychology, right? Because to your point, once Bitcoin's at, let's say your target $700,000, then
15 months.
everybody's happy. People probably buying tokens for other people at that point. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously that's a joke, but that might happen. But my point that I'm making is that people are less tribal because everybody's making money, right? But the harder the conditions, the more tribalism we'll see, and we just got to get through that. It is what it is. It's not like it's new. It's a part of the cycles. And the one thing I will say though, it shows how intelligent our space is specifically. Like Bitcoin could go to like 57,000 today, and we will still see, for the most part, I would say about 85-90% of the same, we would recognize the same names posting on Twitter, the same people popping in here. And so we're at a higher level, in my opinion, than a lot of other ecosystems in terms of experience and stuff like that. And so as long as you just stick with your conviction, because if we didn't stick with our conviction, then we wouldn't be here right now. That OXBT event when you were on vacation, you probably would have bounced. I'm out.
Oh man, that was
and I had my moments too with other different tokens, but the experience definitely, like, it's so helpful, and the more you're in the space, the better your experience becomes.
I still remember sitting at the Airbnb kitchen table at the beach and just sitting there listening to BitGod talk about how they're burning the treasury tokens or whatever, and they're giving it to the community. I remember how that felt in my stomach. I was like, anybody who just tries to decentralize their token when they're a big figure in the space, it goes to zero. And it happened again. And I got that feeling in the pit of my stomach, like, I was deep in OXPT. So that hurt bad. So
Yeah.
screw
But
cabals. I learned
the
that day.
conviction paid off though, right? Of the space. You know what I mean?
Well,
Eventually you got to a point
I
to where
got
you're like,
lucky because bitmaps came along, and that really took my. I had 350 bitmaps at one time, right? So that really, I got bought most of them around $7, $15. So it was one of those things where I needed something to be convicted in it after that punch in the stomach, right? And bitmaps
yeah,
was right there. So
yep, perfectly swooped you up
it really did.
and made you say, so you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, that's exactly, dude. And then track. It was track. It was right after
Track
that
was,
moment
yep,
of track really starts coming. Track. We got track at like 8, 9. So I think you got it at like 7, 8. I got it at 11. Right. So we
sense,
definitely, sense. So we definitely, made big with that, and then we got into, a lot of the BRC 20s and stuff like that. So BRC 420s and BRC 20s, Sats, Honk, and all that stuff. That was around the same timetable as that. So it was like the worst part. I mean, that day was probably the worst day I ever had in crypto, because I was just like, it was all going to zero. To like the month later, everything kind of was like, wow, the bright light came back, and it was just like, we're all going to make it. And
all
now
the
look,
stress and heartache at that point was like, okay, it was worth it. Obviously, once you figured out that our conviction was correct on it, and we haven't even seen it yet, in my opinion. We haven't seen the big ecosystem where it takes over, because it is going to be the narrative.
Yep. Kind of running out of time here, but jump to a few things real quickly. Ordinal Hive is collecting wallet address for their GTD whitelist and the first come first serve whitelist. Hive passed mint. Check their Discord. So get in their Discord, guys. If you can't get the Discord, DM Fonzie. I think it's the Ordinal dude. So DM him. If you can't get in touch with him, DM me. So if you get in their Discord, try and get these whitelist pass stuff. So this is Yazir. Shout out to Yazir. He's the one who posted this for us. So thank you for that. But that's really good news. So get in their Discord.
Yep.
Followed by this one, CoinX lists Billy. $1 billion cat is a meme coin. No eccentric value or expectations or financial returns. So CoinX posted this, and they listed $1 billion cat. It's pretty big.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah,
that's well, a $1 billion cat. Like, man, if first it was cats in the sats, and then like $1 billion cat like took off. So I don't know if that was a cabal versus cabal thing, but it sure looked like one, right? Like one flipped the other, and it's like they're going after the same narrative, essentially. But hey, $1 billion cat definitely has gotten a lot of attention as of late. I would say that.
Yep. And this is some alpha that Jack Lou dropped on our show, because this wasn't out yet until today. But Saturn announced a strategic partnership with Bank. Bank already did a partnership with Liquidium. They have a few other partnerships, not off the top of my head. But what do you think about this one? Saturn announces partnership with Bank.
I mean, it's really just continually pushing that BAMP narrative for you guys that watch the Friday impromptu live stream with Jack Lou. Very interesting. I was super glad to have him on, because I think that we, me specifically, I had a certain perception of them, and I always want to give someone like the benefit of the doubt, right? But like I have to like meet them or have a conversation with them, and we did that a little bit, off camera and then on camera. And so, he was the first one to admit, this doesn't mean that like this project's going to be the biggest success. It could fail. He said that like live, right? But just the support that it's been getting, people are trying to really partner with them and utilize the NUSD in their ecosystem in more than one way, and more than one blockchain. So I think it could be really big. I think we're gonna really see what Jack is made of here, because it is a big project, a big undertaking, but he has the experience. He's worked with OKX before. He's obviously had a lot of experience working on BSV and other projects on Bitcoin as well. So I'm excited to see what he can do. Because hey, a stable token is a large part of the infrastructure that we need if we're going to go towards this on-chain economy that's going to continually grow. And this is the start.
And you got to remember too, before BSV, Jack was a big part of Circle, really getting Circle off the ground, and Circle is USDC. So he has more experience than most people in stablecoins. So I'm getting more and more bullish on this every day. More and more bullish on this every day. I actually got some NUSD last night just to hold so I can earn some bank, because you get like 29% or something like that. So I didn't buy a lot. I just bought a couple $100 worth, but I should be receiving some bank in airdrops or something like that. I'm not really sure. I got to dig into that a little more, but I said, why not get some free bank? So
yeah, and I didn't realize that. I know he probably talked about that about Circle, but that's probably the biggest part of his experience that's going to help with
yeah,
this, because when he broke down like how it's being collateralized, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And for Athena, it seems like the way that they do it is really strong too. So, I did understand your point of kind of having like the basket of stables as a backing, but maybe they eventually do something, go towards that later. But regardless, the start has been really strong for BAMP and USD. And for those out there that are like very tribal about the BAMP BRC20 meme joke token that was fairly minted, chill out. Let's have fun. That's what this is about.
yeah.
Sometimes you just want to have fun, and it minted out, and stuff. And so just have fun with it. I'm here for every ecosystem that has builders with substance, right? So BRC20, runes, of course. I'm really big on runes and BRC20. Tap as well. Those builders have substance. And then we'll see what happens with atomicals. They're starting to try to get their megaphone out here a little bit and say, hey, we're here too. So I'm here for the Bitcoin on-chain economy. That's my 100%. Last statement on that.
And like to the big stablecoin, if bank gets to a point where they're the number one stablecoin on Bitcoin and they're huge, the best thing for them to do is don't back it by Athena no more. What you want to do is you want to back it by treasury bonds, because treasury bonds you're earning 5% yield on that, right? And you can dump those treasury bonds if you need the cash real quickly. They're very liquid. So it's one of those things where for them to get where they need to be, I think this Athena stage is fine. I think the next stage needs to be being backed by USDT, USDC, Frax, Athena, and Alchemy Pay, the Alchemy Dollar. I think if you can kind of get those five, if one does drop off or depeg, the other four can kind of come in and keep you alive for a little bit until you can figure out where to fix the funds, or that gets back to the dollar, it pegs again. So you need the other ones, because that's kind of what happens once one depegs. Like you saw it with USDC last year. When USDC depegged, it went on 88 cents. What happened? Tether went to $1.11. So Tether kind of pushed it picked up the slack. And I think that's what they need to do. You never want to back it by one stablecoin. You either want to back it by treasury bonds, which are liquid assets that you can dump on the market and get the cash.
That's what USDT does, right?
That's exactly what USDT does. That's what USDC does as well. That's the smartest way to do it. If you're going to do a stablecoin, back it by treasuries. Obviously, you need a big money to do that. So the 4 million they have isn't enough to do something like that yet. I mean, you could do it on a lower scale, but I think the first step was Athena. The second step should be the big five, I like to call them. And then the final step will be treasury bonds, and just kind of do it himself. You back it by the treasury bonds, you can't lose, because you're always getting a percent.
They're earning interest, right, on the treasury bonds. So
right now it's 5.25.
Which is nut.
Yeah,
for what they're holding. Yeah.
So think about it. If you're holding that's just easy numbers, $1 billion, right? You're making $5 million on that. So
yeah. Wow, 335 people in here, guys. Wow, we appreciate it. Yep. It started out like possibly a depressing Monday, but we all turned that around and talked about some great updates and news in the space. But we're gonna jump into the Ordinal after hour now and get to some of your comments and questions here. So continually put your questions in there, and we will get to them. Let's see. Yeah, sure. Says YouTube removed all the comments, but we are in Bitcoin community and people know that we are resilient people. 100%. Yeah. Wow, are they removing our comments now?
No. So what happens is if you put it too early, at some point in the night, they reset the chat. So it happens a lot. Remember, sometimes some people are first.
Okay.
Yasher put it in early yesterday, and then so they got deleted when they did the reset.
Gotcha. But this statement was pretty. I think it's funny. It says for the second time I shorted Bitcoin on Surf and it was successful, but I do not like it. Yeah, it does feel weird whenever you win on like shorting Bitcoin. But I think everybody likes money, so congrats on that.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
All right, let's see. I got a couple other things here. Oh, this was really cool. I don't know if you mentioned this, but I Walk Alone says TAP's privilege of authorization mint test is today. So
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so the privilege authorization is pretty much like a whitelist functionality with TAP, but I think it might be pretty simplified, right? For the everyday user or whatever. So if someone wants to create like an easy, quick collection, they can pretty much whitelist it, right? Like addresses. And what this does is what? So, if you're a platform, a TAP platform, you might be able to actually code this into your marketplace, right? And if you have like you don't want people to snipe, then you have this. So it's gonna be interesting. The testing starts today. I would say go to the TAP Twitter account and then check out where you can go. If they're doing open testing to the public, I would definitely do that because you want to get familiarized with it before it starts to be offered on platforms.
100%. Real quick before the next question, TAP has officially passed over 800,000. So congratulations to the TAP guys, man. 88,000 away. Let's push this, guys. Let's push it. Let's push it up. Yeah. We're getting close.
Yeah. And just remember too, one other thing is not necessarily directly related to that, but the TAP ecosystem has a lot of solid builders. You got Traverse, you got Foxy, you got Ghosty, you got Launch Punks that's coming up and stuff. So they got an army, guys. So that's what gets me, bullish on it. Sixes says, does Mr. Yen get Juneteenth off? No. Mr. Yen never takes off.
Mr. Yen worked on Father's Day yesterday. You know how I know that is because the second I tweeted Mr. Yen, he reposted it like within 9 seconds.
we were like in doing some other stuff, prepping for the recording, and I remember you saying that because I was like, we should do something for Mr. Yen on Father's Day, and it was like lightning speed, man. That guy's always working.
Mr. Yen doesn't take the morning off.
Mr. Yen always win.
Yep. Because he's a hard worker. He's a definition of hard work.
Yeah.
Be like Mr. Yen.
Be like Mr. Yen. Abdul, what is up, my guys? Says, do you guys care if an inscription is on a rare or exotic sat? OMB versus Node Monks. So OMB versus Node Monks has some other details in there too, but
yeah.
So for me, I think it's cool that you can do that. Does it absolutely have to be on a rare or exotic sat? No. But I do think as time goes on and the collectability of these things increase, and I do think that that's going to matter. But when you do OMB, and this is my opinion, I'll let you kind of give your perspective on it right after I'm done here. OMB is the exotic stats versus Node Monk, which is the low inscription. So both of those have like a characteristic or like a trait that for collectability, right? As of right now, I say low inscription wins, in my opinion, as of right now. But I think that could change in the future, right? But I'd rather have a Node Monk. Sorry, OMBers. I'd rather have a Node Monk, though. What about you?
Yeah. For me, the rare sat or the exotic sat on, let's just say I get a a maxi, Tyrese Maxey card, right? It's a normal card. That's like your normal thing. But if I get Tyrese Maxey with like a jersey or like signed autograph, I feel like that's the exotic sat, right?
Yeah.
It feels different. It feels more. I would rather have that, right? 100% of the time, right? But also, if I got one that was 99 out of 101, I would obviously want that more because there's only 101. It's under 100,000 in the No Monkeys case, right? So it's something like that. I would want that. So for me, I think they both have their their utility and they're really really cool concepts, and it's obviously better than not having nothing at all. So.
Yeah, well, to me, the low inscription that was really great breakdown and comparison analogy, but. For me, I feel like the low inscription is kind of like this, but we're so early in these low inscriptions, so it doesn't seem that old, but it will in like 5 years, right? But I'd rather have an MJ Fleer 86 PSA 10 rookie card than a 2000, what was it, 2002 or 2003 LeBron, Topps Chrome rookie card, PSA 10. Just because it's it's older as well, so the value is higher. But as time goes on, these inscription numbers will matter as we go on. I feel like, so that's how I kind of look at it. But the fact that we even have those options, it's awesome, because like NFTs never really had that except for rare traits. And I think that we're going to see an explosion of collectability, but not for a while,
we can still have rare traits too. We get like the best of both worlds here in Ordinals. That's why we think it's the next big thing. It's just there's so many different ways to make your collection different than the previous collections. NFTs, it's all the same stupid art on stupid things. Obviously we have that here too, but like we can make it different, putting it on uncommon stats like the uncommoners or something like that. So
100%. Master says China is the biggest economic partner of Australia. Majority of foods in China is supplied by Australia. Yeah, I know the wine was definitely a big thing, and when they got into a dispute, like they stopped importing wine from Australia, and there was like a big thing there. But good point there. Ishitoshi says, "God, I hate YouTube. I was here." Oh, talking about the early thing. Yeah. Hey, we trust you. We think we believe you. Ethereum blockchain says, I have my OG pass locked in a vault traverse. Where does the token drop go to? Which wallet? And I have my Ghosty still in a couple wallets and don't know where to see the one airdrop. So if you're talking about the tap airdrop, you have to go to trac.network, right? And then from there, you're going to click on, here, actually show it real quick for you, Ethereum blockchain, which you're going to change your name to Bitcoin blockchain next week. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
So then you go to track.network, and then you're going to go to tracker right here. This is going to open up the ability to check tap balances. So what you want to do is for your first Ghosty address, just paste it in there and then hit search, and it'll show you how many Ghosty tap tokens you got airdrop. It's very, very simple. So that should solve that issue. And for the Traverse wallet, I believe the airdrop is going to go to your security vault wallet. We'll get some clarification with Abdul. We're actually going to meet with him today to go over Wednesday show.
Yup. What else we got?
Adopted by Bitcoin says Shizzy Yagobi. Are you friends AFK? What does that mean?
Away from keyboard?
Oh,
away from keyboard.
That's a good guess, dude.
I think it's right.
Yeah, we are friends away from keyboard. We've known each other for how was it, like over a year? But we hung out, met in New York and stuff. But yeah, we're definitely friends away from keyboard as well.
Yeah, I mean, we met through Twitter, which is the new, the new way of life, right? But we did meet in New York for the first time about a few months ago. So yeah, but
100%. All right, we got Patty Poo. He says, have you had a chance to look at Darkman, Shell Genesis NFT project, trustless peer-to-pool lending platform? So I did check it out a little bit. I didn't have a ton of time, but I want to pull it up though.
It sounds interesting. I haven't looked at it at all, so thank you, Patty Poo.
Yeah, so this is the Darkman Shell Genesis NFT. Let me see if I can pull up their Twitter, because I mean, it's definitely it's a little different, right? The art is definitely different. But I want to check out their
website is shellfinance.xyz.
Shell Finance.
Yeah.
Let's check them out. All right, here we go. It says meet Darkman, Shell Finance Miner, as the exclusive NFT collection for Shell Finance. Holding Darkman will unlock several utilities. Okay, so it's trustless. You guys know what trustless means. Peer-to-peer protocol. So this is interesting. Optimizing market alignment and maximizing fund utilization efficacy in the lending sector via an advanced peer-to-peer protocol framework. 0% interest loans. Shell Finance implements a fixed one-time charge of 1% for borrowing BTCX, offering a stable fee structure in contrast to typical variable interest rates. Interesting. So they just charge their fee up front is basically what, you know, it's not something that continually accrues. Interesting. Bitcoin backed L1 assets, BRC20, ARC20, Ordinals collection. So let's see. This is the last part I'll read, but because it shows kind of how it works. It says how it works. Choose a vault from any of the currently supported assets, borrow and mint, obtaining synthetic assets. Okay. So basically they mint a synthetic version of your asset that you borrow. And then it says swap for another coin. So swap your BTCX for another coin, provide liquidity in the pool, and earn yields. Sleep soundly, knowing your position is priced using Alex Bitcoin Oracle. Alex's Bitcoin Oracle. Interesting. So this is from the Alex team?
I don't know.
I mean, hey, look, I'm all for this type of like, it's the way that we can try to do DeFi. It seems like, right? Like with the limitations of Bitcoin. Well, I guess they're going outside the limitations of Bitcoin if they're using Alex's Oracle. Interesting. The prices are 0.00171 is the floor. There's 5,000 total. There's 3.8 thousand owners. I might just throw a little bit of Bitcoin at this, see what happens. I mean, you know, it's fun to kind of get in early with these type of DeFi approaches, but we'll see. I'm just not gonna have a bunch of hope for it, just because like I'm still learning about it. But I definitely would give it a stab. So thanks for bringing that to thanks for bringing that to our attention. Wow, guys, we got 340 people in here on Twitter, about 300. So wow, we're creeping up on the Ordinal show. Don't let those guys know; they might freak out. So let's see here. Asher says runes is a symbol of American spirit in producing something. Just make something that is easy to work with. Runes is indeed the answer. Wow, man. That definitely that felt like a passionate comment there. That's for sure. Good point though. It is runes is pretty simple, straight to point.
We gotta get Yasher on the show one day.
Yeah, we definitely need to, man. All right. One more question, guys, he said, or one question. Which app lets us merge batches of tickers to make a bigger batch? Do you know what tools to use for that?
So, is he talking about runes?
I'm guessing, yeah.
So all you gotta do is just send them all in one transaction. So you would just go to your thing and just send them all in one transaction, and they'll show up in one UTXO. So just send it to yourself. So let's say you have 10 batches. Send all 10 at one time, and they'll show up as one UTXO. This is something I seen in here. So my bad.
Which one is it? No, you go first.
So this is I actually saw this earlier. Completely forgot. So it's Runes. I meant to add this to the stuff, but Runes Terminal, they're launching their Sendy. Will launch at 2 p.m. UTC. So it already kind of launched here. So it's starting in. Oh, it's tomorrow. Okay, so it's tomorrow at it's at 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, so 10 a.m. Eastern. So Sendy Merlin. I'm not sure what this is. It looks interesting. So I'm gonna think further for you guys. It looks like Petty, he's the one kind of pushing this. So I'm gonna think further than you guys and get you more information on this, but it looks very interesting.
Yeah. I know the Rooney token is supposed to be having their TGE event soon, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Tim Madden says, I'm adding 10 bitmaps from around the floor. Do I want higher or lower transaction counts?
I would just get floor.
Any other block attributes to look for? I mean, we're not in that market right now. Do I think we get there with bitmaps? Yes, but it's going to be close to the time period that all the collectability stuff comes in. So yeah, I think like if you're just doing it for like a strategy, like for me personally, and I hold some 4-digit bitmaps and I have a punk, but like that was like whenever those things were hot at that time. I think that comes back, but probably like we're probably like a year out from that. And so like from a strategic move, if you're trying to do this short term or even midterm, I would actually pick up the floor price ones too, like Shizzy says. And plus, look, you know, on Merlin, you can trade those out for 10,000 runes of the bitmap token runes, which is going to start trading a lot more because there's more decentralized exchanges that are launching that are going to be offering that. So
100%.
Short answer, I would stick to the floor price ones. Announcement: X payments are coming soon and will launch in the US first, confirms X CEO Linda Yaccarino. That's awesome. Hopefully they add Bitcoin stuff.
It'll probably be stable coins. I can't imagine it not being.
True. Opa Lala says, will dog go to a freaking $1 or should I keep buying those bit pets? What do you think?
Don't buy the bit pets.
What are those?
I think he's talking about the things that we had, the lion and stuff.
Really? Oh, the bit pet season 1?
Or unless he's talking
by
about
Bavo.
Oh, is it
Remember
Bavo? Or is he talking about Trevor's thing?
Okay, I don't know. Like Bavo was bit pets. Like I just looked it up. Bit pets on Magic Eden is Bavo's thing. But man, like there's not very much volume, but like the floor is 0.019 on this.
Wow.
I don't know what the volume is. So whoa, dude, there's
Hold on.
Okay, never mind. I thought they were selling. No, it says Dark Man. I'm still those Dark Man ones are selling though. 8 minutes ago, 9 minutes ago, 13 minutes ago. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what that oh, bit pets. There wasn't there the bit pets for Foxy?
Oh, Foxy does have bit pets. Yeah.
That's right. It's like the weapon that you can have. Okay.
Gotcha.
That makes sense. All right, guys, we're about to wrap this up. We do have a couple.
When Ghosty make rich? When Ghosty make rich?
When Ghosty make rich? Ghosty make rich 2025.
I just feel like it'll
March.
be a Tuesday. I don't know what year, but I feel like it'll be a Tuesday.
It's gonna be Halloween this year. Halloween this year. That would be wild, right?
The Bitcoin having day.
It explodes like on Halloween.
Or not having day. It's Bitcoin white paper birthday. Yeah.
Exactly, man. We're gonna Ghosty make rich on Halloween. We're gonna speak it to existence. Who's it? Max. Max says, does something like BAMP bring DeFi and MEV to Bitcoin? And do you have any thoughts on MEV on Bitcoin? I mean, MEV is pretty much here. It's the front running.
Yeah,
but
it's been
right.
Since the beginning.
It's not like Ethereum, like Jared Subway. That dude freaking be making millions. But I do think that if Bitcoin's native layer gets to a point to where I just don't think we'll ever get to a point to where we have on average faster than 10-minute block.
No.
And so MEV, I just feel like it. I don't know. But anyways, DeFi, yes. I think like if NUSD, obviously, if it plays out well, yeah, I do. And people probably be willing to wait 10 minutes, even if there's swaps here and stuff like that. So
yeah. Opa Lupa says, bros. Thanks, bro.
What's up, bros? What's up, bros? 350 people in here. Let's go viciously higher. What were they saying in the violently higher?
Yeah.
Violently higher. Let's see. All right, guys. I think that's going to wrap it up.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's going to wrap it up for the Ordinal After Hour. Thank you guys for joining us. Please check out our partners. We got Ordinal Hive, which is launching as we speak on Merlin chain. They're going to be the blur of Bitcoin. There's going to be a lot of bonuses, points given out, stuff like that. Fluid tokens, guys, they are doing big stuff right now on Bitcoin's native layer. You can swap with living liquidity as long as there's sell and buy limit orders placed, and there's going to be bonuses for people to place those limit orders. So look out for that because we're going to talk about that probably here in the next week or a couple days. VDEX it's going to be launching very, very soon. They're already getting the liquidity pool staking, all those contracts ready. And then that's going to be our Merlin chain. And then obviously our guys from Traverse Labs, Kareem, Abdul, all those guys, Jabbar. No, I'm just kidding. But those guys have the best #1 security solution for wallets on Bitcoin, native layer, and they're growing. They're going to be doing stuff, amazing things on different ecosystems as well.
100%. And guys, please check out ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles here, so check out the articles. And you know, it's just going here helps us. We're trying to get our stats up for the website, so you guys just go to ordinalrevolution.com a few times a day. That would really help us, honestly. But if you're also going to Bitcoin National, me and Yago will be there. It should be a great time. But we have 21% off coupon here, so click on here and they'll take you to the site, and then you get 21% off paying in Bitcoin. So you can't beat that. You can buy these with Bitcoin. So shout out to the guys for letting you do that. And on top of that, we do have this store with some sick stuff. We added some stuff here. We got this amazing school bag and amazing Goose shirts, and I have a 401B hoodie. So check this stuff out here, guys. We appreciate you guys taking a look at it. And that's our show. We are live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, and 8 a.m. I've been saying 7 a.m., but it's actually 8 a.m. Pacific time. So check us out all week. We will be here, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Real quick though, are we going to do a live stream from Nashville?
We got to get a camera guy, unless we're going to do it from our phones, and we got to like be apart from each other. We'll figure something.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
If anybody wants to come and be our camera guy, let us know. So
we'll figure it out. All right, peace.
We OG, or no OG. You're not bullish enough, oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin sets a overload, experts on reload, You're not bullish enough, oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin sets a overload, experts on reload. Mempool getting hot, everybody wanna rock, Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nuki on the field. This shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.